Hello everybody, I'm Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done an English chit-chat video, and so I thought today I'll kind of chat about my software engineer career. So for context, I've been working as a software engineer in tech for over 2 years now. I'm about to hit 3 years in a couple months, and I think at this phase of my career, it's a very special phase where I'm transitioning from a junior dev into a senior dev. So I've been seeing a lot of challenges or growth moments in my career, and I think it's very worth sharing. So I'm gonna talk about how I'm navigating this new chapter of my life, and I hope it inspires or gives you some takeaways too. So I'm gonna start off with the challenges that I've been seeing. I think first off, one of the challenges is your main goal or your main job transitioning from a junior dev to a senior dev is very different. As a junior dev, like you're told what to do. Like people plan out your project for you, tells you what your task is, tells you what your goal is, and you don't really need to like drive the direction yourself. You just need to execute. You just need to know how to write the code, and when you don't, you just go to someone and ask for clarification, or ask for like, oh, I don't know how to do this, like can you teach me? Like those are what a junior dev does. But as a senior dev, you're starting to like need to know how to drive direction. You may only like be given a really big, really vague goal. You need to figure out what are the different options to get there and evaluate different solutions, figure out concrete plans, and do the communication to talk to like your stakeholders, talk to your manager, talk to your team, and figure out what the technical difficulties will be, what the trade-off is, and what is the level of effort that's required. And also, most importantly, figure out the prioritization, because engineering resources and time is like always limited. So you can't like do everything perfectly. You need to know what's important and what's not, and when to make that trade-off. I think there are so much more like soft skills that you will need to gain in order to become a really good senior dev, and those are not the things that the school or like CS classes will teach you. These things I think at this phase of my career I'm trying to get better at, so not just to know how to execute, but also to know how to build a really good design, how to innovate, how to do communication, and even how to like lead people, how to lead a project. I think the second challenge I probably have talked about before in my previous videos when I talk about my career, but it's very easy to feel imposter syndrome, I think, at this phase of the career, because I work with many other people that are more senior than me, and of course I'll think like they're more knowledgeable, they know what they're doing, and when it's different from mine, it will be harder to like advocate for my own idea or be confident that I should like stand up for myself and try to persuade the people that are more senior than me. I think that's the part where like as I'm transitioning into a senior dev, I really need to know how to like build my confidence and how to communicate with people that are more senior than me, because you know, if like you have a very valuable idea, but just because you're lacking confidence or you're not speaking in a confident way, people might not take you seriously. The third challenge is now that you get more autonomy and get more power to drive projects, you really need to know how to balance tech debt and moving fast. Because at every company, like of course all the teams want to deliver, want to show results, want to like, you know, show impact. So that's about moving fast. But there's also a lot of tech debt in the process that you might accumulate, and it might get to you later at some point. But it's really hard to find that balance. I think now I'm also still learning how to like do that communication or ask like the team or ask manager how we want to balance this. And you need to know what right now, like what the main goal is and how you prioritize things. When you get the chance, sometimes it's also better if you like move slow and try to do things better so that later on, like you don't have more work to, you know, keep this project moving. Yeah, that's one of the challenges or one of the things that I've been learning to like know how to balance and know how to prioritize. But moving on to my growth moments, I think it's really rewarding when I get to take on more ambiguous or bigger projects that I get to like decide a lot of things myself, because like as I said previously, I think a lot of it is about communication, and communication is really like a hard thing at the workplace. So you meet so many different kinds of people, and you need to kind of know how to communicate with like each different type of people. If you see like a great example and you kind of can just follow how that person does things. I think the second more rewarding growth moments is also that now that I've been working for a longer time, I get to take part in more architectural decisions or more cross-team communications. So I get to work with more people and I get to take part in like bigger decisions, or I know how some decisions were made. Like as a junior dev, oftentimes you don't take part in like those important conversations. Sometimes you're just told what the decisions are. And I think the third growth moment is that moment when you kind of realize that, wow, like I'm not a new grad anymore. I'm not a junior dev anymore. Like I've really like grown a lot from that. Now that I've been working like over 2.5 years, I am like answering the questions that I used to ask, or when there are like new people that joins the team, I kind of see like myself in the past, you know. I think I've come a long way. Like I really like become more comfortable and become more knowledgeable in a lot of specific areas. That feels very rewarding, knowing that like you're really improving, really learning things, but also at the same time knowing that there is still so much that I should and need to learn, but I don't need to be afraid of that. The last growth moment that I think I realize is communication is really key, and I think I'm getting better at it. There are many aspects to like how communication is important, especially like when you get pushbacks from other people or you really need to advocate for yourself. And I think aside from your confidence, fluency in the language is also very important. Sometimes, because you know English is also not my first language, so I will feel like the language is limiting my ability to communicate, but I try not to let it become like something that's hindering me. When I work on my English or work on my language skills, I know that in meetings it can help me a lot because I can react faster and speak more confidently and not let language become something that limits like the ideas that I want to communicate. I want speaking English become like just a very natural reaction, not something that I need to like think about, or I need to like think in Chinese in my brain and then translate it into English and then speak it, because that complicates things a lot, and I think that makes communication very inefficient.
那讲到在职场上英文口说和沟通的重要性，相信有很多人应该也想要在短时间之内把英文口说再提升一个层级。那这边就跟大家推荐一个超级有效的课程，叫做24天的英语口说奇迹。
这门课呢是由林夕老师设计，老师他常年透过研究正式的语言习得方法和学习策略来教学，本身也有哥伦比亚大学和剑桥大学的升学顾问和教学证书，也是 SAT、托福、雅思考试的满分保持者。
它不是一般那种教你单字或发音的小技巧课，而是一个非常有系统的训练。目标呢很明确，就是帮你破解翻译脑，建立母语级的英语反射语感。我们以前学英文不是都会卡在中文先想好，再翻成英文再说出来的这一套吗？但其实这一套就是让我们讲不顺、反应慢的根本原因。这堂课的设计呢，就不是让你多背，而是用3个步骤帮你重新建立说出口的能力。像是第一步就是帮你用发音师调整节奏和语调，接着用老师独创的 Turn Dialogs 对话法，从最简单的 2 turn 开始，循序渐进到8 turn， 再搭配间接重复这种口腔肌肉训练，让你讲英文不再是靠翻译，而是反射的开口。课程的设计也很有趣，它会让你大量的跟读，不断的重复，还会进入真实对话的模拟。课程内容都是母语人士真的会遇到的情境下去设计的，像是职场会议、旅行、健身、日常聊天这些，不是那种很教科书制式的 How are you? I'm fine and you 这种，而是你讲出来，母语人士也会說 Yeah, that's exactly how we say it。如果你是已经有一点英文底子，但就是讲不顺的人，不是因为你不够聪明，而是因为你缺少一套有效的训练方法。所以如果你是那种觉得我不是零基础，但是讲英文就是很卡，或是你觉得我有智慧，但是组不出一句话的那种人，那这门课就非常适合你。课程目前已经正式开跑，早鸟募资低于5折，输入 kelly 英文350就可以再折350元。如果你想要今年把英语口说练起来的话，就点击资讯栏的链接去看看哦。So lastly, some takeaways from this chapter of my life. I think first thing, it is very important to be very open to take feedback. Right now, as I'm like transitioning or as I'm improving, there are many things that I can still work on. And I think getting valuable feedback or constructive feedback is very important. And I also need to show that I can take action very quickly to fix those things so that people will be more comfortable and more willing to give me feedback on what I can work on. And I think that's a very easy way and very efficient way to improve. And second takeaway is that you really don't need to know everything to become senior.
there are things that I'm still learning and things I need to get better at, but it's still important that I'm like very open to learning and I'm very open to like asking questions, because you know there's no way like you're already like perfect. I think it's still very important to know how to ask for help and not like feel like you're falling behind because of that. Last takeaway is I think I'm becoming more intentional with my time and energy. There are always so many things to do. There are so many projects that you can take on. There are so many tech debt that you can fix. There are so many tasks that you should be doing, but you have limited time and limited energy. So it's very important to know what the prioritization is. And if you don't know, you should work with your manager to figure that out and become very intentional with like, oh, how much effort, how much time is this thing taking me, and is that worth it, or is there other things that are more important right now and I should be paying attention to. So that's all that I wanted to share, this in-between phase between junior and senior, all the struggles and all the growth that I've been seeing. If you're also in the same stage of your career, I hope you know that you're not alone, and I hope you've learned something from what I've talked about. And I think it's a very unique, very special, and very meaningful phase to experience in everyone's career. If you have any experience that you want to share with me, also feel free to like leave in the comments and I'll go read and reply to them. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!